Today we'll be discussing about the topic path matrix. First of all, let's see what is a path matrix. A path matrix is something defined for a specific pair of vertices in a graph, that is xy. It is denoted as P of xy. In a path matrix, all the paths between the vertices x and y is taken into consideration. Like any other matrix like adjacency matrix or incidence matrix, it is also 0-1 matrix and its order is number of paths by number of edges. That is, each row in P of xy corresponds to different paths between vertices x and y, and each column in P of xy corresponds to each edge in G. That is, if there are 5 paths between the vertices x and y and there are 5 edges in our graph G, then we get a 5 by 5 path matrix. So we know that in a path matrix, the elements are 0 and 1. So each element Pij is allocated as 1 if the jth edge lies in ith path and Pij is 0 otherwise. So we get a path matrix which is of the order number of paths by number of edges and its elements are either 0 or 1. Now let's look at an example to understand this concept more clearly. Consider the vertices v3 and v4 of the given graph. We see that there are 3 paths between these two vertices. One path includes the edges h and e, another path includes the edges h, g and c, and last path includes the edges h, f, d and c. And these paths can be named as path 1, path 2 and path 3 respectively. So there are 3 paths. This means that there are 3 rows in our path matrix and totally there are 8 edges from A to H in this graph, so there will be 8 columns in our path matrix. Now consider our first path. The edges included in this path are H and E. So in our path matrix, first row, that is the row for our first path, and each column is each edge of our graph G. So H column and E column for first row will be 1 and rest of the elements will be 0 because H and E are the edges included in this path. And now taking our second path, that will be our second row in the path matrix. The edges included are edge G and C. So HGC column in our path matrix will be 1 and rest of the elements are 0. Similarly, in our third path, which includes the edges H, F, D and C, our H, F, D, C columns are given value 1 and rest of the elements are 0. So this is what we saw previously in the definition of our path matrix, that if jth edge lies in ith path, then Pij is 1, otherwise Pij is 0. So this is how we form our path matrix. Now let's look at some of the properties of a path matrix. Our first property is a column of all zeros corresponds to an edge that does not lie in any of the path. If we consider the example that we saw before, we see that 2 of the columns of our path matrix, that is column A and column B, all the elements in both these columns are 0. This is because A and B does not appear in any of the paths between the vertices v3 and v4. അതായത് നമ്മളുടെ അടുത്ത് 3 പാത്താണ് v3 and v4ൻ്റെ ഇടയ്ക്കുള്ളത്. പാത്ത് 1, പാത്ത് 2 ആൻഡ് പാത്ത് 3. സോ പാത്ത് 1ൽ H ആൻഡ് E, പാത്ത് 2ൽ HG, C, പാത്ത് 3ൽ HF, D, C. ഈ 3 പാത്തിലും എയും ബിയും വരുന്നില്ല. സോ A and B, both columns will have 0 as elements. Moving on to our second property, a column of all ones corresponds to an edge that lies in every path between X and Y. Now if we consider our previous example, we see that in the path matrix in a column H, we see that all the elements in column H are 1. This means that H is present in each and every path between V3 and V4. അതായത് എച്ച് എന്ന എഡ്ജ് v3 ആൻഡ് v4ൻ്റെ ഇടയ്ക്കുള്ള എല്ലാ പാത്തിലും പ്രസൻ്റ് ആണ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് പാത്ത് മാട്രിക്സിൽ ഈ 3 റോയിലും എച്ചിൻ്റെ വാല്യൂ 1 ആയിരിക്കും. ലുക്കിംഗ് അറ്റ് എ തേർഡ് പ്രോപ്പർട്ടി, ദർ ഇസ് നോ റോ വിത്ത് ഓൾ സീറോസ്. അതായത് ഒരു പാത്ത് മാട്രിക്സിൽ എല്ലാ റോയിലും അറ്റ്ലീസ്റ്റ് ഒരു വാല്യൂ എങ്കിലും 1 ഉണ്ടാവണം. ബിക്കോസ് എല്ലാ എലമെൻസും 0 ആയാൽ അതിൻ്റെ അർത്ഥം ദർ ആർ നോ എഡ്ജസ് ഇൻ ദാറ്റ് പാത്ത്, വിച്ച് ഇസ് നോട്ട് പോസിബിൾ ആൻഡ് ഇറ്റ് കോൺട്രഡിക്ട്സ് ദി ഡെഫിനേഷൻ ഓഫ് എ പാത്ത്. Because a path means there must be at least one edge. Looking at a last property, the ring sum of any 2 rows in P of xy corresponds to a circuit or an edge disjoint union of circuits. We know what is a ring sum. Ring sum of 2 graphs G and H means the edge that are either in G or H but not in both. So if we consider a previous example again, we see that for example if we take the first row and second row of our path matrix, the ring sum of both these rows will be E, G and C because H is common in both these rows. So ring sum is A, G and C. And now if we connect these three edges, we get a circuit. Similarly, if we consider second row and third row, ring sum will be G, F, D because H and C are common in both these rows. And now again connecting G, F, D, we get another circuit. So this is specified in the fourth property. This is all about properties of a path matrix. Next, let's look at a theorem defined for a path matrix. The theorem states that if edges of a connected graph are arranged in the same order for the columns of the incidence matrix A and the path matrix P of xy, then the product in modulo 2 arithmetic gives a matrix M. In this M, it has ones in only 2 of its rows and rest of the n-2 rows are all zeros. That is, according to this theorem, the product is taken between the incidence matrix A. I hope that you all know what is an incidence matrix as you have already studied it. So the product between incidence matrix A and the transpose of our path matrix gives a matrix M. Again, let's consider our previous example to see how this theorem works for a graph. Given here is the incidence matrix for the graph and the path matrix that we have seen previously. As I have already said, the product is taken between the incidence matrix A and the transpose of our path matrix. Modulo 2 multiplication is slightly different than our usual matrix multiplication. In a usual matrix multiplication, what we do is we take the first element of first row, first element of the first column of both the matrices, multiply it and then add it with the next element of the same row and same column. And like that we keep on adding the corresponding elements of the first row and first column, first row and second column, first row and third column, and it goes on. But in mode 2 arithmetic, there's a slight difference that instead of adding, it is like more like an XOR operation. That is, here it is given 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 0 is 1, and 1 plus 1 we get 0. It is more like an XOR operation. So after multiplying each element, this mode 2 arithmetic is applied and added. So this is the result we get. In our result matrix, we see that the vertices are now our rows and paths are our columns because we have multiplied incidence matrix where vertices are rows and transpose of path matrix. When we take the transpose, paths have become columns. So in our result matrix, paths are our columns. Now if we look at our result matrix, we see that only the rows V3 and V4 have ones as its element because in our example we have considered the paths between V3 and V4. So ones are present only in these two rows. Rest of the rows all have elements zeros. That is, there are totally n vertices. So 2 vertices V3 and V4 have 1 as its elements. That's why in theorem it is stated as rest of the n-2 rows have all zeros. So this is all about path matrix. Thank you.